hearing SRIMAD BHAGAVATAM, Kapil Bhagavan is speaking to Mother Devahuti. We heard last time, due to his particular type of body, the materialistic living entity wanders from one planet to another, following fruitive activities. In this way, he involves himself in fruitive activities and enjoys the result incessantly. Sometimes up, sometimes down planet, to Brahmaloka, down to hell, we are getting. Jivo hyasyanugo deho, bhutendriya mano maya, tan nirodosya maranam, avirbhavastu sambhavaha. In this way, the living entity gets a suitable body with a material mind and senses according to his fruitive activities. When the reaction of his particular activity comes to an end, that end is called death. And when a particular type of reaction begins, that beginning is called birth. I heard from our Gurudev, someone asked him about what he should do for survival. Then Gurudev, he only heard this word survival, then he said fixed time is there. When the fruits will finish for this body, then this body will perish. No one can stop. It is not before and it is not after. Fixed time is there, according to Prarabdha Karma, which we already did in previous life. So that is called death. And Krishna says in Gita, one who is born will surely die. One who died will be surely born, except if he becomes liberated. Otherwise, all the time, rotating. Dravyo palabdi stanasya dravyeksha yogyata yada tat panchatamaham manat utpatir dravya darshanam yatakshnor dravya vayava darshana yogyata yada tadaiva chakshusho drashtur drashtritva yogya tanayo. Our Gurudev told death comes because the results of fruitive actions for that body have finished. And that may come through any instrumental, either accident or disease or murder or anything. But that is not the real cause, that is only external. The real is the fruits of that body came to an end. But he will get another body according to his activities in this body. When the eyes lose their power to see color or form due to morbid affliction of the optic nerve, the sense of sight becomes deadened. The living entity, who is the seer of both the eyes and the sight, loses his power of vision. In the same way, when the physical body, the place where perception of objects occurs, is rendered incapable of perceiving, that is known as death. When one begins to view the physical body as one's very self, that is called birth. In Upanishads, it is very clearly explained how Atma enters into new body in the womb, and how gradually the functions of the senses they open, and how during the time of death they are gradually shut down. You cannot speak, you cannot see, you cannot. Then there will be death, and Atma will go to another body. In details it is described. Tasman na karyah sanstraso na karpanyam na sambrama budva jiva gatim dhira mukta sangas charitiha. Therefore, one should not view death with horror, nor have recourse to defining the body as soul or self or Atma, nor give way to exaggeration in enjoying the bodily necessities of life. Realizing the true nature of the living entity, one should move about in the world free from attachment and steadfast in purpose. So one should not be afraid of death, because that is only one kind of transformation of body. You give up this body, you get another one. The Atma does not die, nor should you think the body is the self, or because I think I am the body, then I will increase the enjoyment of bodily necessities, eating, sleeping, mating, defending. That is not the purpose of life, of one who is dhira, sober person. He realizes, dhira, realizes who he is, that he is Atma, but that does not mean that he will not take care of body. He will take care of body better than the one who did not realize that he is not the body. If someone only theoretically says, yes, I am Atma, and he neglects bodily necessities, then he will have more problem than the one who is enjoying thinking I am the body. But one who realized, he will also take care of the body, but free from attachment, that I am this body, and not excessively, also not too less, because both will give disturbance to bhajan, and steadfast in purpose. What is his purpose is only one, that is the service of Krishna. As long as he is in this world and in this body, his target is only service of Krishna and fully depending on Krishna. What Krishna wants to do, he will do. And he is never praying for liberation or anything. He only wants the service of Krishna. And if Krishna wants to take him in his Siddhadeha in Golok, that is okay. Otherwise, he is ready to remain in this world and do service of Krishna, because his target is only service of Krishna, not anything else. And only one who has target only the service of Krishna, he is the only eligible to go to Goloka. Not one who desires to go to Goloka. One who desires to go to Goloka, he cannot go. Because that is your own desire. Oh, that is very nice, enjoyment, all this. No. One who wants only service, he does not care. Mama Janmani Janmanishware Bhavatat Bhakti Rohati. If I have to be born, no, I have no problem. In insect, any kind of birth. But I want your service. Only such person can progress to Goloka gradually. So he is steadfast in purpose. He does not deviate, because already he understood the taste of service of Krishna in comparison with anything else, and also that he belongs to Krishna. It is his natural duty, or he realized his intimate, sweet, delightful relation with Krishna. He is my son, he is my beloved, he is my dear. Then by nature, by deep attachment, by love, he will serve Krishna always. 24 hours from his real self. Samyak darshanaya buddhya yoga vairagya yuktaya maya virachite loke charanyasya kalevaram. Endowed with right vision and strengthened by devotional service and a pessimistic attitude towards material identity, because it will finish, one should relegate his body to this illusory world through his reason. Thus one can be unconcerned with this material world. One should relegate his body to this illusory world through his reason. I will see what is the meaning of relegate. 1 second. Assign an inferior rank or position to. Yes. So he will understand that this body belongs to this illusory material world. But I am not of this world. I am spirit soul, I belong to Krishna. So he will not be concerned with this material identity, with material body. Only in relation to Krishna will he take care of and serve Krishna, as long as it is there. But he will not think I am this, or that this is primary importance. The necessities of body are prime importance. No, or prime importance or only importance. Those who think I am this body, they will think this is the only importance about body, and soul importance and main. But one who realized himself as Atma, he will think this is secondary. Prime importance is I am soul, I have to serve Krishna. That food for the Atma is service of Krishna. And in relation to that transcendental interest, he will also use this material body and this material world. And he will be unconcerned, he will not be disturbed. Like once I asked our Bharati Maharaj, he said, if I become sick, that will not disturb my remembrance of Krishna. But to you it will. He told me. So you have to take care of body by taking medicine, by doing proper treatment or proper regulated life, all this. Otherwise, when something wrong with the body, then our mind goes there and we cannot concentrate on bhajan. But one who is unconcerned, not identified with, he gets no disturbance. No pain also. Like if someone cuts your finger, then you will feel pain. But if you get that anesthetic, then you can see someone cutting your finger, but you will not feel any pain. Like that, one who is realized soul, he does not feel any pain which is going on with the body. Like if you are in airplane and on the ground there is earthquake, you don't feel that, you are unconcerned with that. Next chapter. Chapter 32. Entanglement in fruitive activities. Kapila Uvach. Atha yo griha median dharman eva vasan grihe kamam artam cha dharman swam dogdhi bhuyah pipartitan. The personality of Godhead said, the person who lives in the center of household life derives material benefits by performing religious rituals and thereby he fulfills his desire for economic development and sense gratification. Again and again he acts the same way. Here Sai Maharaj is telling what I was just thinking. There are two kinds of householders. One is called the Griha Medi and the other is called the Grihasta. The objective of the Griha Medi is sense gratification, and the objective of the Grihasta is self-realization. Here the Lord is speaking about the Griha Medi, or the person who wants to remain in this material world. His activity is to enjoy material benefits by performing religious rituals, that is dharma, for economic development, that is for artha, and thereby ultimately satisfy the senses, that is kama. He does not want anything more. Such a person works very hard throughout his life to become very rich and eat very nicely and drink. By giving some charity for pious activity, he can go to a higher planetary atmosphere in the heavenly planets in his next life. But he does not want to stop the repetition of birth and death and finish with the concomitant miserable factors of material existence, means those which are accompanying material existence: birth, death, old age, disease, and threefold miseries. Such a person is called a Griha Medi. A Grihasta is a person who lives with family, wife, children, and relatives, but has no attachment for them. He prefers to live in family life rather than as a mendicant or sannyasi, but his chief aim is to achieve self-realization or to come to the standard of Krishna consciousness. Our Gurudev explained, in India, you can hire a train, whole train with certain number of bogies. So when in our mat they wanted to perform South Indian tour parikrama, so they hired one train with many bogies. Then same train was driving them around all the time. So while they were in the train, they used to take care of the train very nicely, clean it, and if there was any repair necessary, they would repair it, and all this nicely taken care. But when they came back to Kolkata, then they were very eager to quickly go down, already waiting with the luggage at the door, train still moving. Then when the station came, then quickly they left off. Why? Because of the knowledge, this is not our train. It belongs to railway company, and this is not our real place of stay. Though during that time they took care very nicely, but with this knowledge, without attachment, this is not with the mood, this is mine. And when they get out, they get out. Like that, one can live in this world, but without attachment, knowing it is not mine. It is for it belongs to Krishna, and it is for Krishna. Then you will have no problem. Griha Medi, he thinks this is mine and for myself. But Grihasta knows everything belongs to Krishna and everyone belongs to Krishna, and he's doing his service to Krishna, then he has no any problem. Bhaktivinoda Thakur sang, Jedino grihe bhajana dekhi grihete goloko bhai. When I see in some house bhajan, then I see Goloka is manifested there. Goloka manifested there. And what means bhajan? Knowledge that I belong to Krishna, all my family members belong to Krishna, this house belongs to Krishna, I'm serving Krishna in my house, in his house. For him I'm earning money, for him I am doing everything. They are all his servants, everything. In that vision he's doing, so he has no problem. Not that no problem, he's having bliss, absolute bliss. That is Golok. So his chief aim is to achieve self-realization or to come to the standard of Krishna consciousness. Here, however, Lord Kapil Dev is speaking about the Grihamedis who have made their aim the materialistically prosperous life which they achieve by sacrificial ceremonies, by charities and by good work. They are posted in good positions, and since they know that they are using up their assets of pious activities, they again and again perform activities for sense gratification. It is said by Prahlad Maharaj, Punah Charvita Charvananam. They prefer to chew the already chewed, again and again. Again and again they experience the material pangs, that is miseries, even if they are rich and prosperous, but they do not want to give up this kind of life. Sa chapi bhagavat dharmat kama murah paran mukha yajate kratubir devan pitrimscha shraddhayanvitaha. Such persons are ever bereft of devotional service due to being too attached to sense gratification, and therefore, although they perform various kinds of sacrifices and take great vows to satisfy the demigods and forefathers, they are not interested in Krishna consciousness, devotional service, because no Sukriti. Tat Shraddha Yakrantamati Pitri Deva Vratah Puman Gatva Chandramasam Lokam Somapah Punareshyati. Such materialistic persons, attracted by sense gratification and devoted to the forefathers and demigods, can be elevated to the moon, where they drink an extract of this Soma plant. They again return to this planet. This also we will find in Upanishads. When, in which case, they will come back to this world, in which case they will be promoted to spiritual world, passing through moon also. So, you cannot go to the moon by rocket. That is hoax, cheating. You can go to moon planet only by pious activities. Then you can see living entities there and all these things. Moon is not a sand and with American flag there put inside. No, that is not moon. That is Photoshop, not moon. But this is Kali Yuga. So by pious activities one can come, and when that will be exhausted, he will come again. Yada Chahindra Shayayam Shete Nantasano Hari Tada Lokalayam Yanti Ta Ete Griha Medhinam. All the planets of the materialistic persons, including all the heavenly planets such as the moon, are vanquished when the Supreme Personality of Godhead Hari goes to his bed of serpents, which is known as Anantashesh. Srila Bhakti Rakshidharita Goswami Maharaj, the time will come. We see some little distraction in this world, but he said the time will come when even the sun will be destroyed. Moon will be destroyed, everything will be destroyed. And then again it will happen. Again creation. All the time going on. Yes. Dissolution. Ye swadharma na duhyanti dhira kamarta hetave nih sanga nyasta karmanaha prashanta shuddha chetasaha. Those who are intelligent and are of purified consciousness are completely satisfied in Krishna consciousness. Freed from the modes of material nature, they do not act for sense gratification. Rather, since they are situated in their own occupational duties, they act as one is expected to act. Occupational duties are two types. One is eternal, that is, we have to serve Krishna, being his eternal servants. Another is when living in this world, according to your status in life, you have certain duties as a Kshatriya, Brahmin, Shudra, or Vaishya, and Ashram, Brahmacharya, Grihastha, Vanaprastha, Sannyas. They are doing that to maintain their life so that they can do Shravan Kirtan of Krishna and Archan and all these things. But they are also doing that. They are not neglecting. That is one kind, that is one part of their bhajan because it is assisting bhajan. But they are not acting for sense gratification. They only take prasad, what is necessary in favor of Krishna, they take as prasad. And they act as one is expected to act. Nivriti dharma nirata nirmama nirahankritaha swadharmaptena satvena parishudena chetasa. By executing one's occupational duties, acting with detachment and without a sense of proprietorship or false egoism, one is posted in one's constitutional position by dint of complete purification of consciousness, and by thus executing so-called material duties, he can easily enter into the kingdom of God. Like that train, they are doing everything inside the train, eating, sleeping, taking care, repairing, cleaning, everything they are doing, but without attachment. Their target is the service of Krishna only and using everything for the service of Krishna. So they are using this Varna Ashram Dharma for maintenance so that they can serve Krishna. Then they can easily enter into the kingdom of God by such performance of duties. Surja dvarena teyanti purusham vishvato mukham paravaresham prakritim asyot pati anta bhavanam. Through the path of illumination, such liberated persons approach the complete personality of Godhead, who is the proprietor of the material and spiritual worlds, and is the supreme cause of their manifestation and dissolution. Surja Dvarena, by the path of illumination, or illuminated path, or through the sun planet. That is described there in Upanishad. When also in Vedanta Sutra it is clarified by Vyasadeva what is meant, in which case one will go to spiritual abode, in which case one will come down. And to the spiritual abode you will be taken by personal associate of Brahma, means Supreme. One divine being will come, it is described. Dvi parardha vasanayah pralayo brahmanastute tavat adhyasate lokam parasya parachintakaha. Worshippers of the Hiranyagarbha expansion of the personality of Godhead remain within this material world until the end of two parardhas, when Lord Brahma also dies. Yes. In commentary, one dissolution is at the end of Brahma's day, and one is at the end of Brahma's life. When 14 manus pass, that is one day of Brahma, then the night comes. At that time, all the planets up to Maharloka are destroyed with all living entities. Maharloka, Janaloka, Tapoloka, Satyaloka, they remain. But when there is end of life of Brahma, after his 100 years of 365 days in 1 year, then though that also will be destroyed. Up to Satyaloka, everything will enter into Mahavishnu. So this here, Hiranyagarbha refers to Garbhodakashaya Vishnu. Sometimes Hiranyagarbha can refer to Brahma, sometimes to Garbhodakashaya Vishnu. You have to know, according to context, what is meant. So they who are worshipping Garbhodakashaya Vishnu, they are in higher planets. They remain within this universe on Satyaloka or other higher planets until the end of the life of Brahma. Then with Brahma, they are elevated to the spiritual kingdom, if they are devotees. Yes. If one is worshipping Krishna directly, then he will go directly to spiritual world, first to that material world, Lila, then go. But those who will worship Garbhodakashaya, they will remain in this world till the end of Brahma. But then they will be promoted. Kshmambho Nala Nila Viyan Mana Indriyartha Bhutadi Bih Parivritam Pratisangyi Hirshu Avyakritam Vishati Yarhi Guna Trayatma Kalam Parakyam Anubhuya Parah Swayambhu. After experiencing the inhabitable time of the three modes of material nature, known as two parardhas, Lord Brahma closes the material universe, which is covered by layers of earth, water, air, fire, ether, mind, ego, etc., and goes to back to Godhead, if he is devotee, Brahma. Otherwise also he has to be again born in new creation. He closes down, everything is destroyed. Evam paretya bhagavantam anupravishta ye yogino jita marun manaso viraga tanaiva sakam amritam purusham puranam brahma pradhanam upayanti agata bhimanaha. The yogis who become detached from the material world by practice of breathing exercises and control of the mind reach the planet of Brahma, which is far, far away. After giving up their bodies, they enter into the body of Lord Brahma, and therefore, when Brahma is liberated and goes to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is the Supreme Brahman, such yogis can also enter into the kingdom of God. atha tam sarvabhutanam hrit padmeshu kritalayam shrutanubhavam sharanam braja bhavena bhamini. Therefore, my dear mother, by devotional service, take direct shelter of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is seated in everyone's heart. One can attain direct contact with the Supreme Personality of Godhead in full Krishna consciousness and revive one's eternal relationship with Him as lover, as Supreme Soul, as son, as friend, or as a master. One can re-establish the transcendental loving relationship with the Supreme Lord in so many ways. And that feeling is true oneness. Servitor and served. One in purpose. The point is, one has to revive, means, or re-establish, means because that is eternally existing. For that reason. But we were not situated in that. We were situated in between. But when we attain our eternal constitutional position, we feel we regained it because it was always existing. We will feel we revived it, or we regained it, or we reestablished it. We went back home, back to Godhead, because it was already existing. Adyah stira charanam yo veda garbah sahar shibih yogeshwarei kumaradhyai siddhair yoga pravartakai bheda drishtya bhimanena nih sangenapi karmana kartritvat sagunam brahma purusham purusharshabam sasamsritya punah kale kale neshwara murtina jate guna vyatikare yatha purvam prajayate aishwaryam parameshtyam cha tepi dharma vinir mitam nishebya punar ayanti guna vyatikare satu. My dear mother, someone may worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead with a special self-interest. But even demigods such as Lord Brahma, great sages such as Sanat Kumar, and great munis such as Marichi have to come back to the material world again at the time of creation. When the interaction of the three modes of material nature begins, Brahma, who is the creator of this cosmic manifestation and who is full of Vedic knowledge, and the great sages, who are the authors of the spiritual path and the yoga system, come back under the influence of the time factor. They are liberated by their non-fruitive activities, and they attain the first incarnation of the Purusha. But at the time of creation, they come back in exactly the same forms and positions as they had previously, because karma is not finished by dissolution. Again, they will start from where they left. Yes. Again, only if they become pure devotees, means no self-interest in worshipping Supreme Lord, then you can be liberated. Otherwise, you will come again because you want to enjoy that thing. You want some fruit, material fruit. Ye tviha sakta manasah karma su shradhayanvitaha kurvanti aprati siddhani Nityani apicha krit snashaha. Persons who are too addicted to this material world execute their prescribed duties very nicely and with great faith. They daily perform all such prescribed duties with attachment to the fruitive result. This is the difference. Some are doing these prescribed duties, Varna, Ashram, Dharma, in order to enjoy the fruits which they come. That is Kamya Karma. But some, they do Nishkama Karma, without desire to enjoy the fruits. By that kind of duties, they will purify their heart by Nishkama Karma Yoga. And when their heart will be purified, they can get Gyan, that there is a spirit which is different from matter. Then they will want to be liberated from matter. But then they will realize Nitya Nitanam Chetanas Chetananam. There is one eternal among many eternals, and they are his servants. Then he will become devotee. Such devotee also does Varna Ashram Dharma duties in this world, but not with the ego, I am Brahmin, I am Kshatriya, I am Shudra, I am Vaishya, I am Sattvic, I am Rajasic, or no. He knows I am eternal servant of Krishna, but I am living in this world, so I have to maintain this body. So they will do, according to their material body, they will do those duties, but with a view to facilitate their Shravan Kirtan. So all they are doing same. Outwardly, activity is the same, but the result is different because consciousness of the worker is different. They are thinking, this is mine, I will enjoy. Then others thinking, no, this is not mine, I have to do my duty for duty's sake. Then he will become Jnani gradually, but devotee also does, but for the service of Krishna only. But if you see them outwardly, all are doing same thing. Only in devotee, you will sometimes see he will not totally follow every rule of Varna Ashram Dharma when or if it is not favorable for his devotion. That rule he will not follow, or some prohibition like it not follow, if it is unfavorable, but otherwise he will follow with that target. Rajasa kunta manasa kamatmano jitendriyaha pitrin yajanti anudinam griheshu abhirata shayaha. Like Harinam. All will do Harinam. Anya Bilasis, Karmis, Gyanis, Yogis and Bhaktas. All will do same Harinam, but with different conception of Harinam and with different targets. So it is either Nama Parat with other targets, it is Nama Bhas for liberation, or it is for the satisfaction of Krishna, that is Shuddhanam. That is only devotees can do, and they will get prem, not anyone. Just he said Hare Krishna, or yes. No. Depends how he's doing, for what purpose. That depends on his self-determination. Anya Bilasis, they may also do Harinam for enjoyment, like a musical performance they will do. Rajasa kunta manasa kamatmano jitendriyaha pitrin yajanti anudinam griheshu abhirata shayaha. Such persons, impelled by the mote of passion, are full of anxieties and always aspire for sense gratification due to uncontrolled senses. They worship the forefathers and are busy day and night improving the economic condition of their family, social or national life, and always in anxiety. Traivirgikaste purusha vimukha hari medasaha katayam katani yoru vikramasya madhudvisha. Such persons are called Trivargika because they are interested in the three elevating processes, means Dharma, Artha, Kama. They are averse to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who can give relief to the conditioned soul. They are not interested in the Supreme Personality's pastimes, which are worth hearing because of his transcendental prowess. Nunam daivena vihata ye chachuta kata sudham hitva shrinvanti asad gata purisham eva with bujaha. Such persons are condemned by the supreme order of the Lord. Because they are averse to the nectar of the activities of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, they are compared to stool-eating hogs. They give up hearing the transcendental activities of the Lord and indulge in hearing of the abominable activities of materialistic persons. That does not mean that before they were hearing Harikatha and then they gave up and then they start to hear about Maya. No, giving up Harikatha means they did not decide to hear Harikatha. One side is Harikatha, another side is Mayakatha. So when they choose to hear Mayakatha, it means they gave up Harikatha, but not that before they were hearing and then went there. They gave up the option to hear Harikatha. Dakshinena pataryamnah pitrilokam vrajanti te prajam anu prajayante shima shmashananta kriya krita. Such materialistic persons are allowed to go to the planet called Pitriloka by the southern course of the sun, but they again come back to this planet and take birth in their own families, beginning again the same fruitive activities from birth to the end of life. Tataste kshina sukritaha punar lokam imam sati patanti vivasha devai sadhyo vibramshitodayaha. When the results of their pious activities are exhausted, they fall down by higher arrangement and again come back to this planet, just as any person raised to a high position sometimes all of a sudden falls. Tasmat tvam sarva bhavena bhajasva parameshtinam tat gunashrayaya bhaktya bhajanya padambujam. After understanding about fruitive activities, now Kapil Bhagavan is telling, you understand what is the nature of that. After understanding, you hear this. My dear mother, I therefore advise that you take shelter of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, for His lotus feet are worth worshipping. Accept this with all devotion and love, for thus you can be situated in transcendental devotional service. That is eternal, but that is all temporary and full of miseries. Vasudeve Bhagavati Bhakti Yoga Prayojitaha Janayati Ashu Vairagyam Jnanam Yad Brahma Darshanam. engagement in Krishna consciousness and application of devotional service unto Krishna make it possible to advance in knowledge and detachment, as well as in self-realization. Automatically, if you serve Krishna, you get all Gyan, transcendental knowledge. What is this world? Who you are? Who is Krishna? What is internal potency? All divine knowledge you get. And automatically you get Vairagya. You don't want to do anything else except service of Krishna. No any selfish activity, either to enjoy this material enjoyment or for liberation. That is also selfish. That is not service of Krishna. That is you want to be peacefully remaining, but there is no service of Krishna. So that is selfish. But our real self-interest is service of Krishna, because by serving Krishna we get real bliss. Yadasya chitta marteshu sameshu indriya vrittibhi na vigrihnati vaishamyam priyam apriyam ityuta. The exalted devotee's mind becomes equipoised in sensory activities, and he is transcendental to that which is agreeable and not agreeable, that raga and dvesh. Immediately when you are in false ego, in material identity, there is raga and dvesh. Depends on what kind of physical body and subtle body you will have particular raga and dvesh. That which is agreeable to you, like different type of food or different type of anything, and that which is not agreeable. But one who is realized soul, he is beyond these material dualities and attraction and disgust, so he is never disturbed. He has only one duty to serve Krishna. That is why he is equipoised, always shanta, peaceful. Krishna Bhakta Nishkama Auto Ev Shanta. Because Krishna's devotee has no any selfish desire, Nishkama, that is why he can be peaceful. But those who want Bhukti, Mukti, Siddhi, Kami, those who want material enjoyment, liberation, or those mystical powers, they are all disturbed. They are not peaceful. They are not happy. Tomorrow we will hear about Srila Jagadish Pandit and Jiva Goswami, their tithis tomorrow. Then we will further hear Bhagavatam.